Hello, everybody. My name is Cody Wilbert from URL Insurance. I want to thank you so much for joining today to talk about the AnnuityPro Academy a little bit more. Just to start, for those of you who are maybe not super familiar with URL, we are URL Insurance Group. We're out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We've been in operation since about 1986. We are an independent, family-owned company, which is becoming a little bit more rarer and rarer these days as we see it in the marketplace. But what we really hang our hat on is that we are a full-service brokerage. So what I mean by that is we do life, annuities, health, Medicare, disability, and employee benefits. So I feel that we are a very well-rounded, well-tiered system here that for you agents out there should have the ability to cross-sell and have the expertise to cross-sell in many different areas other than your primary line of business. We also know that many of you may be joining today and these might not be your first line of business. I'm very happy to see. We'll dive a little bit deeper in here. Let me explain a little bit about our annuity team. For those of you who know us, Steve Clemens is the president of the life and annuity team. You can see myself there, Jason Collins, who does our single premium life. And then we have our case managers in Rosemary Evans and Rachel Patton, who are on our life team, and Maria Adams, who is on our annuity team as well there too. So just a kind of a background of the team you're dealing with when you do call into the life and the annuity team, that's who you would see. So let's talk a little bit more about George Sheets. George is joining us today. I'm not going to take too much out of his presentation and his time, but George is born and raised in central Pennsylvania. He resides currently in Lancaster, attended Millersville University. George was a former top-selling life agent who was recognized for his college financial planning. And George really has a true passion for helping folks working with retirees and pre-retirees and getting them to secure what we call their financial dream. George has been very productive for at least the past 10 to 12 years doing these seminars now outside of the college planning space, which moved him more into the annuity space. With that being said, he has done over $45 million in production last year with one of our larger national insurance companies. So his system is tried, it's true, it's proven, and he'll get a little bit more into what we're offering here through this program. But what we found was it's really hard for you to go out, get an annuity lead, right? Call somebody for $300,000 and say, hey, I've never talked to you before. You've never even met me face to face, but I would love for you to talk to me about your retirement account right now. Tell you most of those leads are not going to be productive leads. The people aren't going to want to see you. They've never met you before. You didn't do anything to build rapport with them to begin with. And they're like, who's this guy calling in that I'm going to all of a sudden talk to them about this amount I've been saving up for 30 years? It's a tough lead system to do it that way. George was kind of friendly enough to approach us with his system saying, I have agents who are jumping into this program and they're doing really, really well. I'm teaching them how to sell through seminars and do that with annuity production. So as we started to pair with George, it became, more and more present that this was something that a lot of agents wanted to see. This was something that a lot of agents wanted to learn, hear about. And for us, it's kind of a nice system of being able to provide or generate some type of quote unquote lead system for you, or some type of lead system that is going to get some bodies in seats, get some people in, be with them and present all of your information. So I want to talk about before I kick it over to George here, doing here today. So I want you to know that you're going to learn a little bit about what process we use to sell an annuity. What are we using? I'm that expert to present to folks. We're going to teach you a little bit about what he's doing as far as hosting live seminars. So you will see. The other key is you are going to get, if you of resources. And what I mean by that is George and I have taken the time to put a site together that basically encompasses a lot of frequently asked questions that George gets with this program, right? And on top of that, there are a lot of turnkey forms, presentations, books, handouts that you will be able to take directly from this website cater them to yourself and make this your system. But without further ado, I do want to say, George, thank you for joining the call today. I guess I kind of want to start with, tell me a little bit about what you've been doing these past 10 to 12 years and how it's been so successful for you.
Well, I guess the best way to put it is in 2003, I got into the business of life insurance through a friend because he had cancer and I just wanted to help him out. But 2 years later, I was the number one agent for a national company because I didn't realize how my corporate experience combined with his rudimentary seminar system would come together and blow the numbers to the roof. Within 8 years, we had taken the business up almost 4,000% and became the number one agent for many years. Then I got into annuities through another person when he died, and I didn't honestly even know what an annuity was. And we just rejiggered the seminar system that I had, and boom, literally the first year, 15 million, the second year, 30 million, the third year, 40 million, 50 million. I think this year we're going to do 60 million. And we're not even working full time. I mean, and honestly, we're not working full time. So that's really what I've been doing. I've been taking ideas from over 40 top agents around the country. When I get to a meeting and I hear a great idea that I didn't think of, I ask them if I can put it in my seminar system. So I now have a seminar system that is based on the knowledge and usability of over 40 top people in this country. And I keep refining it. And I've come to the conclusion that anybody could do a seminar and easily make hundreds of thousands of dollars in commission. So that's kind of what I've been doing, Cody. And just to show you what I'm talking about, guys, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but I had 2 seminars at lunch and dinner yesterday. And I want you to see all the appointments. Do you see all that green? I got 22 appointments, and I make people do it in the first week. So I did the seminar yesterday. My appointments start tomorrow, and they follow through all next week. I will knock out 22 appointments. I'll do probably $2 to $4 million in annuity business. And then 2 weeks later, I have another seminar, another 22. They say that the average financial planner, insurance agent does about 5 new appointments a month from people who have been referred to them. So start thinking about how many you do and think about me doing 30 to 40. And I'll do that for about 10 months a year. So I'll speak to 250 to 400 new potential clients every year who I've not only speaking to them, but I've actually only bringing in the people from the seminar and have money. There's a way to do it. So what Cody and I were talking about was I always wondered how you can train large amounts of people on your knowledge. And I found that I was spending 100 hours, 150 hours per agent to train people. And I just don't have that time while doing my own business. And I thought, wow, the workshop system can be put right on the video. So Cody generously, along with URL, has sat down with me in their studio. Cody, what do you think we have? 30, 40, 50 videos?
Yeah, I would say we're really close to that 50 number, if not.
I thought so too. Think about that, guys. We put together 50 videos. Some are 10 minutes long. Some are half hour long on everything and anything you need to know about putting together a seminar system. Literally, we have videos on what things to buy for your seminar, pull-ups and that. We have videos on how to do the presentation. We have me on a professional presentation. I do both one called Wills and Trusts, which is the lead-in to get the annuity, and I do one called Social Security and Medicare, which again is the lead-in to get to the annuity. So you have 2 different systems that you can choose to work with, and we tell you where to go, what to rent, who the marketing company should be, what to ask of the marketing company, what asset levels to go after. It is very comprehensive. I'm not going to say there's not something we missed that I haven't thought of. There probably is. But as we keep rolling this out and agents say, hey, you didn't have this in your video, Cody and I are going to create a video. I don't think there's going to be many we have to create. But what we're doing is we're saying, hey, if you decide that this is for you, okay, and you would like a system where you can be taught by the expert, we're talking about offering you all the videos. So you'd go watch all the videos, all 25, 30, 40 hours. You'd watch me doing workshops. that saves me about 50 hours to 70 hours talking to you personally, because you can do that while drinking a glass of wine or a soda or something at 2 a.m, and you can rewatch them. We'll talk about all these things. And what's nice is you can do it on your own. Once you feel you've mastered that, then you call me and we'll tie it all together to start your first workshop and your first seminar. Okay. Even if you don't want to do a seminar, we probably are going to be able to, I know we're going to be able to teach you how to take your present Medicare clients, your present life insurance clients, and flip them around and get an annuity from them. As an example, okay, we have an agent right now I'm working with who, right out of the gate on his first workshop, he's going to probably, well, I know he's going to do about $800,000 to $1 million in annuity business. He probably made a mistake or two that would have made him do a $2 million. Now think about that. 800,000 is literally a $60,000 commission right out of the gate for something that costs $7,000 to hold. He also took my ideas and went to a Medicare client and presented them and walked away with $1 million, which Cody is going to be dealing with on Friday. So he got another 70. So in less than 1 month, he's probably going to pocket $150,000 in commissions, helping people protect their investments, helping people protect their investments.
And that's the thing, George, and I'm glad you said that, because that's kind of one of the questions I wanted to kind of get across and ask you today. Is a lot of times folks are like, okay, you're offering me this system, these turnkey presentations that were taped, all these different forms, these live recordings. What am I putting in to start? And I think, what is a good ballpark number that you've seen? And I kind of want to two-tier this to you. So I want to say, what's a good ballpark figure that you usually see as an initial investment that these agents need to make? And when I say initial investment, guys, this isn't you giving money to URL and URL using this to help you out with this. What I'm getting at with initial investment is, what are you going to need to purchase, buy, get leads, those type of things in order to get this seminar started or do this for the first time? And the reason I say two-tier, George, is I want to know approximately how much it costs if I don't really have a good book of business, and approximately how much you think it'll cost if I do have a good book of business that maybe I could use first.
Well, that's a great statement. First of all, there's about $2,000 in upfront cost to purchase pull-ups, the books we wrote that you can, I've written 2 books. They're with printers right now. You're going to be able to call in and have your name put in the book. And so that you're telling the truth, change a paragraph or something and put yourself down as co-author because you changed the paragraph. And one's called Social Security Savvy and the other's called Pay for Retirement Without Going Broke. Instantly, they're going to send those to you 100 at a time, and you're going to be an author who's an expert, and you're going to be able to hand those out. So I recommend you purchase them, some pull-ups, a projector. And the agent I'm working with, I asked him what his upfront costs were. He truly did every single thing I asked. Most people miss 1 or 2. He did everything, and he said he spent $2,000 and that. So now he's ready. Now, if you're going to do it with your present book of business, for probably about another $2,000, you can start selling annuities. Okay. If you'd like to do it with a seminar, it's probably going to cost you about $6,000 more. So with your present book of business, you're looking at about a $2,000 upfront investment to get the things I feel you need. And you're looking probably for another $2,000 to maybe hold a little luncheon at a restaurant or something, family restaurant, and give away a TV set to bring people in. And then I'm going to tell you how to do a little presentation to them to get some annuity business out of them. Okay. If you're looking at new business, it's going to be a little more. It's probably going to be, I just say plan on 6, 7. So let's say your business, you're going to be out 4 total. The other way, you're going to be out 8 total. However, as I said, this agent did the whole 8. He spent $2,000 on what he needed. And then he spent $6,000, it's about $6,500 on the workshop, the food, and he's doing home visitations. And he's already, by the end of this week, he will have closed $1.5 million, which is, what is that? That's 1.8 million. So that's almost 130,000 in commissions. I would say this, for spending $7,000, making 130,000 is an ROI of what? 14 to 1, 16 to 1.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I have another agent who is just doing the workshop model. He has 1,500 Medicare clients, but he just wants to do the workshop model. He has done 3 workshop rounds, and he went from 500,000 in annuity business, his first workshop, which is 35 grand, to 800,000 his second workshop, to now I think he's going to close to 2 million. I talked to him. He said he's going to pocket $100,000 for this last workshop. So he's sold. He's sold. When Medicare's over on December 7th, he's rolling out workshops every month starting in January. So there is a little learning curve to master what I'm telling you. But once you master that, it's just like, honestly, it's like printing money. It's like owning a laundromat.
Yeah.
That just the money flows in all the time. And the ability, if the screen that Cody has up right now as I'm talking, really, you ought to read it as I'm talking and all the things we have. We're going to tell you how to brand. We're going to tell you how to do advertising. We're going to give you companies and contact lists to do marketing with. Those companies have already been prepped by me and told what to offer you so that you get exactly what. We're going to have conference calls once a month to put everybody on who's doing this and talk about the psychology of selling and what is important, how to be liked, how to build trust. We've got our presentations online. You're going to watch me video it. We got our books online you can download. I have developed very simple down home forms that you are going to be able to drop right into your workshops and right into your meetings. All you got to do is take my name off and put your name on, and boom, it's going to roll out. It's going to roll out. Okay. And then we'll have some personalized follow-up training, because what I'll tell you is every time before you're done workshop to give me a call. I'll probably tell you before you do the workshop to give me a call so I can prep you and make sure you know it. And I'll probably tell you after the workshop to give me a call so we can do some after workshop prepping, et cetera, and things like that. And if you have an office, that's one type of selling that I can teach you. If you don't have an office and you're going to sell in the home, that truly is another type of selling, which I can teach you how to do annuities there too. So there's so much flexibility there.
Well, I think. Sorry, George. I think what's important of what you're saying, though, too, and what I want agents to realize here is that, get inspired. If you're someone who wants to teach, if you're someone who wants to give your clients more options, and maybe you're someone that's successful in Medicare or life insurance or final expense or whatever that field is, but know that you can contour this presentation around things you're strong with and also add in the annuities on the back end of this thing. There's ways to contour this conversation that you can show your strengths as well still, even while you're learning the annuities, and eventually you'll be strong enough in them to make the presentation any way you want. But really, it's a constant ability to cross-sell, even when you have that client in the door. And George, you could talk about this a little bit, but think how many, you don't even go after it, correct? But you get Medicare appointments.
Well, it's funny you say that. I'll tell you, I don't want to cross-sell, because at 65, you only need to make so much money. And when you do 45 million in annuity business, it's more than enough. So I don't want to deal with cross-selling. But in all honesty, and I'll tell you, because I was a number one life insurance guy too at one time. My partner and I and that do 45, 50, we're going to do 50, 60 million this year. If I did AUM, I'm pretty positive I could add another 20 million a year in AUM off these workshops, because I just had a guy 2 weeks ago come in my office on the first meeting after a workshop and say, "We love you. My wife and I love you. We've managed our money all our lives. We're now 75. We don't want to do it. We want someone, and we decided it's you. Can you take our 15 million and manage it?" And I had to say, I don't do AUM, and I don't have anybody I refer to it either. So AUM's one. Life insurance, I'm constantly walking away from what I know would be a life insurance sale. Medicare, I have someone I referred out to, and I just talked to him recently, because I don't know what we give him. Just playing around and giving him business, we referred 65 Medicare clients to him last year, just from our annuity. And we're only playing around. We don't really refer Medicare unless someone specifically asks about Medicare and that. But I had a workshop yesterday with 105 people spread across 2 workshops. I asked how many of them had Medicare. I had 97 people raise their hand. So there's 97 people that you could get to switch over to you, and possibly, unless that's what, 30,000 a year in commissions coming in and one workshop. I just don't do it. Okay. And final expense, part of my wills and trust presentation is you need a prepaid funeral. And people will walk up to me and say, do you do that? And I say, no, we don't. Okay. So you could sell final expense too. And it's not a monthly final expense. We're talking lump sum in prepaid completely to the hill. Does that make sense? And there's probably other things I'm missing. Oh, and we also signed up with a company called estateguru.com. They do wills and trusts. So now we offer wills in our office. We just have a 22-year-old who takes all the information from the client, puts it into the software program. A law firm prints it out. They charge us $500 a couple for 2 wills, 2 power of attorneys, two power of health, and a living will, and we can charge whatever we want. We do it as a service to our annuity business. If you do an annuity with us, we'll give you a free will. But I know agents right now that are charging $1,000, and the agent I just talked about that's going to make 150 grand, he just got a will. He charged $1,000, so he made $500. I know guys for trusts that are charging $1,500 for a simple trust. So there's ancillary things you can do if you want to do it and you're young and you want to build an overall business helping people. But what I love about this is we don't do risky annuities. So I want to make this clear. There are multiple types of annuities. Half the industry is variable annuities. We do not do them. People could lose money in the stock market. Our niche is income rider indexed annuities, or just plain old accumulation indexed annuities. I personally use almost nothing but what's called an accumulation index annuity. It comes with no fees. Now, I want you to think about this, folks. You get a 10% bonus up front. So if you give me 100 grand, you get $10,000 on day one. You get 3.25% interest the first year, including the bonus. So at the end of the first year on 100,000, you're going to have $113,250. And then year two, you can start to get a return on the S&P 500 index of 65%, whatever happens that year. So if the market goes up 10%, you get 6.5. If the market goes down 50%, you lose nothing. So think about that. A massive upfront bonus, no risk, no hidden fees, no fee at all, and an upside of 60% of the market. There's a niche in your workshop that will just flood into the office and want that. So I got 22 appointments yesterday. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to get 6 to 8 clients, and I'm going to roll over. I'm going to bring in 200 to 400,000 in commissions, and then I'm going to go do another workshop in 2 weeks and do that. And I'm getting 6 to 8 annuity clients. If I was doing life insurance and Medicare and really pushing the wills and the final expense, I could seriously probably have got 35 appointments and sold little bits, all that. I just don't want to personally myself do 35 appointments at 65 years old in 2 weeks. Okay. So I hope that gives you a summary. This is the most powerful thing I've ever seen in life insurance, in Medicare, in final expense, in annuities. The biggest guys in the country who truly do the most business, almost all exclusively do seminars to generate their business. And you can say, I even know 2 real estate agents in Maryland who generated for 30 years 100% of their sales, which this past year I think was 60, 70 million, in doing nothing but buyer and seller workshops. The trick is understanding how to write the workshop to generate the appointments that you want and the sales. That's an expertise I have. There's a very simplistic process to doing that, but most people can't do it. So whatever you sell, you could use these workshops to probably generate that business plus the annuity business on top of it. I just personally don't do it myself.
Yeah. And George, that's a great way to put it. And what I want you to think about is, take this information we're giving you. Know that there's going to be a system in place that is going to help you sell through seminar selling. Know that it is approximately somewhere between the cost of anywhere from around $4,000 to $7,000 to start, depending on your book of business, depending on locations, things you're doing, how much backing you want to have as far as advertising and books and pop-ups, things to hand out, pull-outs, all that kind of stuff. So you got to kind of gauge that. Know that, hey, that is in my wheelhouse of something I would like to spend. As George alluded to, our last guy who just spent $7,000 is looking at nearly making about 120 grand in commissions once his cases go through the process, get the money transferred in, which all shouldn't take more than a month's time for us to get that kind of moving and going in. Not every case is going to go in a month's time, but the majority of them are. So, he's moving along very nicely. And for that initial investment, as George alluded to, he's going to be 14, 15, 16 times what his investment was to get that back. So what I want you to think about is, can I make that investment? Because what we want your next step to be is, hey, I'm excited about this. I do want to take the next steps to do this. I do want to grow my business. I do want to go from a 6-figure agent to a $1 million agent, to a $5 million agent, to a $10 million agent. That's what you should be thinking of in this process. And what we want to offer to you is, you tell us, you give either George or myself a call, say, I'm interested in the program. What are my next steps? Our next steps for you are going to be to give you website access. However, this is on a very temporary basis because you will need to get some type of licensing done with URL. This is proprietary information to the AnnuityPro Academy, George, and URL's information. So in order to take the next steps with us, you are going to have to get licensed with at least a carrier or two to look forward in the annuity production side of things. Once you are licensed with us, have had that conversation with us, we are happy to give you the website access. The website access from that point, as George said, will give you forms, books, any type of actual workshop videos. We've live taped George's full seminars, both of the versions that he's done. We did one live in person. We did one via webinar, but the entire 2-hour presentation is out there for you to listen to and watch as many times as you want. We've had agents who go to George's actual seminars and want to sit through it and gain valuable information from just seeing the experience and going through that experience. And again, talking with George and I, you can get that information as to when he's doing that so that you can enjoy these things and go in person if you don't want to just watch it over video. But I'm telling you, the website has a lot of good resources, has a lot of good things to use. However, there is some proprietariness to it where we are going to need you to get contracted, licensed. We're not just giving this out to folks just to give out to folks. We need commitment from you, just like we're putting all of this out to give you our commitment to make you more successful selling through a seminar.
Can I jump in here?
So I want you to, yeah, go for it, George. What do you need?
You got me thinking of some things I said. There's so much that we're doing. Look, guys, I'll tell you, because I'm at a high level in IMOs and things like that, insurance marketing organizations, the one problem I've had in this industry in the 20 years I've been in it, because I came from corporate America, is I really do think that the training for agents in many IMOs is ridiculously silly and stupid. They want to take an override, but they don't want to give you any real training. So you're thrown out there, or the training is piecemeal, or that you go away for 3 days and someone stands up on stage and gives you a rah-rah speech. And honestly, what happens is 100 people show up at that meeting, and 3 years later, 3 of them are left, and they're doing very well. Okay. I find that to be downright ridiculous. And what Cody and them have given the opportunity of is a door-to-door package system backed up by someone like me. And honestly, Cody with his annuity knowledge and all to help them out. So I literally take appointments at the workshop. I do not call people. So literally you leave that workshop seminar with a group of appointments, and they come into if you have an office, I stack them up like cordwood. If you're going to the home, you can probably do 3 a day. Okay. But the point is, you're not calling anybody. I do not call people. And if you call into my office and you say that I'm going to cancel, but I'd like to reschedule, could you have George call me in a week? My secretary says, George doesn't call anybody. You have to call back in and reschedule. And they do. So we teach you how to control the person, how to get the sale of whatever you're looking to get, and how to get the annuity in the end. Does that make sense? But this is an IMO in URL who is actually stepping up and saying, we agree that we can even do more to help train agents. and they brought me on board to do that. So you have the opportunity for almost generally no cost, in a sense. I mean, even if it's 2 to 7 grand, that is not a major cost. Honestly, a McDonald's, just so you're aware of it, to own a McDonald's, you have to have $22.8 million in assets, and you have to take out loans for $2 million. The average McDonald's owner makes $250,000 net a year on a whole McDonald's. I mean, the guy who did the annuities workshop 3 weeks ago and has just met with people and then also met with one of his Medicare clients, he put up $7,000, two for that, about $8,000, and he's going to make $150,000. So he's already almost 65% towards what a McDonald's owner makes, who has to put up $2.5 million, and he put up 7,000. This is the most incredible deal for anybody, and if you don't see it, you really shouldn't be doing it, because when the money, it's hard to envision a check coming in on a commission check in 1 month for 50,000 or 80,000 or 90. You know, I've had some months where I brought in 150, 200, you know, and I grew up poor. So it still, to this day, shocks me. I hate to say it, but I think cartel drug sales is the only thing that's probably more profitable than the system. Well, it is. I mean, I grew up poor. I just cannot believe how much money it brings in. But
well, and the other piece that you have going for you, George, is you're selling things that are completely safe to market risk, right? So even if somebody is in a product or has worry or anything like that, or a day after they buy something from you, they see the market tank and crash and go down, and everybody around them is screaming how negative their accounts are and how they're going down, we sleep good at night. You know, that's part of our product. That's part of the thing that you're giving them, is that peace of mind.
My clients go to bed every night thinking, dear Lord, let the stock market drop 90% tomorrow, because they're not going to lose a penny. And the minute it turns and starts going back and up, they're going to make a killing. So you go to bed at night thinking, dear Lord, let the stock market go up so I make money. My clients say, dear Lord, let it go down 90%. Now, based on where the market's at right now, who do you think is going to win in the long term? Now, if you already do annuity sales, now I've been doing this for a while with some Medicare people and some annuity people that already do annuity sales. I see a difference that I didn't even see at first. Okay. If you're already doing annuity sales, let's say, I'd say the break point's $1 million up. Okay. If you're doing $1 million up you'll grasp my system so quick, it will be silly, and you'll probably come right out of the gate and within 6 months already be at 4 or 5 million. I think the biggest problem when you work by yourself is it generates so many sales, all the follow-up paperwork, the transfer of the money, it bogs you down. So if you have two of you doing it, one does the workshops, one does the paperwork, it'll work. But if you're already doing annuity sales and you're doing 1 to 2 million, I'm going to take you to 5 to 7 pretty fast. If you're doing 4 to 6 million in annuity sales, honestly, the sky's the limit. I think you could ratchet it up within 2 years to probably 25, 30 million if you chose to want to do that, because you already got the skill set on annuity paperwork. We just need to give you the process to get in front of the people. If you're doing pure life insurance, or you're doing pure Medicare, or you're doing pure final expense, there will be a little more of a learning curve there on the annuity paperwork. But so do I believe, though, you can come right out of the gate and do 2 to 3 million your first year, which is a $200,000 commission? I do. So there's the breakdown of the 3 types of people and that. But if you're doing annuity sales right now, you're going to have so much money in the bank within 3 years if you follow the system. You might end up calling Cody up saying, I'm retiring.
I'll tell you what, George, I do want to thank you again for your time explaining a little bit more about the program. Folks, for you listening out there, keep in mind, my number is up on the screen right there, 717-216-8063. Again, that's 717-216-8063. If you think you can make the investment to start this off, get inspired, get excited, you want to teach, you want to learn more ways to grow your book of business, give us a call. We look forward to hearing from anybody out there. We look forward to talking with you guys. I hope you found value in this. I hope you understand a little bit more about what we are presenting and what we are giving out to you guys. But again, I look forward to hearing from you, George. Thank you again for your time today. I very much appreciate you. And I'll speak on one last thing before I go, and that is, from the success that we've had of this, it's been in place for about a year now. From the success we've had in this, I've seen a lot of agents grow and the confidence of those agents grow. I've seen people who didn't even know if they could do the presentation. They said, Cody, I have the initial investment I can make. I don't even know if I feel comfortable presenting. George has worked hands in hand with these people. So have I. But he has taken these calls and will lead you and will help answer those questions. The website's going to take care of a lot, but know that you have the support of URL. You have the support of George Sheets, and we want you to be successful. So for your time today, I appreciate everybody joining in, and I look forward to speaking with you all. Thank you again, and take care.